Hi, Timmy.
You having a nice laugh, are you?
I mean, it's Christmas. It's Christmas morning.
Hey!
I love the way it makes me feel inside.
What's up, everyone? Adam from FWCI. This is Brewstew Childhood Injuries. Ooh, I got some stories after this one, don't you worry. I can't wait to see what happens. Yeah, childhood injuries are crazy. I was born in 1986, so I started primary school in the early 90s, and it was wild. I think I've talked on another video about the playground at my school, that one of the parts of the playground was just a big rectangular piece of metal. It was like a balancing beam, but it was just a chunk of metal on two legs. And it was a death trap. By the way, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you do, because there will be more Brewstew reactions coming up in the future. And I've got a Patreon. It's patreon.com/FWCI, and check out patreon.com/Brewstew if you want to support the man himself. So let's jump into the childhood trauma that is Brewstew's childhood injuries.
All right. Now, I don't know about you, but a big part of my childhood was getting hurt on a daily basis. Over the years, I've suffered many a childhood injury because, well, I was a stupid little kid that made stupid decisions. But I'm sure I'm not the only one, right? I mean, we've all attempted to bunny hop over one of our friends before, out in the middle of the street, you know, for fun, right? Remember? Well, today, in honor of being a stupid little...
I reckon I have tried to do that at some point. I think I was just around when somebody else was doing it. I've definitely seen that happen, but I was not involved, and my phone records prove that.
I'd like to go over 3 prominent injuries that I suffered as a child in no particular...
Metaphorically.
Alright, now if you guys weren't sliding down your stairs with a sleeping bag when you were a kid, I don't know what the fuck you were doing with your life. To me as a child, there was no cheaper adrenaline rush than going 0 to 60 down 14 steps in your living room. And sure,
We didn't have steps. We had one step. It was more of a sunken lounge room. That's it.
I'd get hurt all the time. But it didn't matter because that fucking staircase would call out to me all the time. Hey, you little 8-year-old bitch. I bet you can't slide down my ass with your fucking Steve Urkel sleeping bag. Oh, bitch-ass stairs. I'm not afraid of you. You're on. Ah, my pelvis. Now, sliding down the stairs with a sleeping bag is all well and fine, but if you were a real motherfucker, you went down the stairs in a laundry basket like a fucking professional. Now, I've only attempted this feat one time in my childhood, and that was with my dumbass friend Michael at his house. And keep in mind, we did this shit for fun. We did not do this on a dare. There was no money involved.
I've seen enough Fail Army videos to know exactly what's about to happen here. You guys are about to sustain head injuries, I believe.
There was no fucking camera crew there recording us. Hi, I'm Tyler from Brewstew Films. Welcome to Jackass. Nope, just 2 kids, a laundry basket, and a dream. That's all we needed. I mean, we did have adult supervision, all right? We weren't complete maniacs. We had fucking Michael's drunk-ass stepdad passed out in the living room. It'll be fine. And in our heads, this little stunt was gonna work flawlessly. We were gonna maneuver this cake.
The science is there.
Flight of steps, maybe do a fucking victory wheelie on the bottom landing, then probably pop champagne bottles in the winner's circle of the goddamn laundry basket classic. But instead of that happening, well, something like this happened instead. We crash onto the landing like we're on the ass end of a Home Alone booby trap. The laundry basket explodes on impact. Michael's stepdad wakes up and he's like, "Oh shit, are you boys all right? Somebody call 911. Nah, just kidding. That didn't happen.
Right.
His ass was so drunk he didn't fucking wake up when we fell down the stairs. Ah, piss off, officer. I'm fine. I only had 2 beers. But if he had woken up, he would have woken up to the scene of 2 broken children at the bottom of a staircase. Not only did I bite the shit out of my tongue on the way down, but I fucked my right shoulder up 6 different ways to Sunday.
Whoa.
Now, did I dislocate my shoulder? Did I possibly break my clavicle in half? I have no idea, because I didn't tell anybody about it afterwards. All I know is that my shoulder fucking hurt for multiple months afterwards, and I lost a good 12 miles an hour off my Little League fastball. Hell, even today as an adult, if I wipe my ass too quickly on the toilet, I get a sharp pain in between my fucking shoulder blades. Ah! Goddamn laundry basket bullshit! But hey, whatever. No severe damage done, I guess. Kids...
Oh my god, alright, yeah, that's hectic. Just quickly, I once took a spill, details don't matter, bit the inside of my cheek to the point where there was a flap of flesh inside my mouth. It healed incredibly quick. It healed in like 1 day, but there was a fucking flap in there.
Number 2.
Well, if slinging yourself down the family staircase isn't your idea of fun, well, let me tell you about another little stunt that we would do as kids. And this little stunt involved a skateboard and a bike with pegs. And what we like to do as children is somebody would ride
Go on.
as fast as they could, while another kid sat on a skateboard and held onto the pegs for dear life and tried their best not to eat shit on the fucking asphalt.
I'd be more worried about eating rubber in the face. Oh my god, this looks... Look how long his arms are in that animation. Well, Tyler, why are your arms twice the length of your legs, my friend?
Yeah, what a rootin' tootin' time that was, huh? This was a goddamn game that we played all the time. It was a game that we called Hang On to the Pegs Until You Die game. And of course, we didn't have any helmets or knee pads or fucking adult supervision. I mean, aside from the neighbors watching us through their window and shit. Oh, honey, come here, quick! There's a bunch of dirty little kids doing Evel Knievel shit out in the street. Well, on one particular day, while we were outside playing the Hang On to the Pegs Until You Die game, or Hot Peg, if you will, I was determined to set our all-time neighborhood record. Now, what that record was, I have no idea. I don't know if it was distance or time spent on the skateboard or whatever the fuck. All I know is I was like, y'all better save your pennies for that big-ass holographic Guinness Book of World Records, because I'm about to be on the cover of that.
I had that. And I had the, like, 3 or 4 years before it. I had an uncle that used to just buy it for me every single Christmas, so I remember the holographic Guinness World Records books.
Now, my friend David was the one that was on the bike during this little fiasco, and I don't know if he was just feeling ambitious or if he just skipped his fucking Ritalin that day or what, but his ass started pedaling like he just robbed a goddamn liquor store at knife point. The skateboard starts shaking. It's doing that death rattle thing that happens when you're going way too fucking fast on a skateboard. You can hear a goddamn sonic boom echo out throughout the neighborhood and shit. The entire time I'm like, David, stop! Stop, David! Stop the goddamn bike! I'm gonna fucking die! But David,
That's the game.
did not stop. Because David apparently was trying to break the goddamn land speed record on a fucking Huffy BMX bike. Well, next thing you know, the skateboard hits a pebble out in the middle of the street, and I go skittering throughout the road like a fucking poorly animated cartoon. Now, I don't know if you've ever slid to a stop on asphalt using nothing but your face and hands before, but it's not as fun as it sounds. One side of my face was completely scraped up, covered in road rash, but the palms of my hands were even worse because, well, I didn't have any fucking palms in my hands anymore. They were lying 14 feet behind me in the middle of a fucking street. Now, it's worth noting that...
Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh, yeah, I've never eaten shit on asphalt that bad. Oh, dude, how are you doing these cartoons?
This all happened just a few days prior to school picture day. Well, you can bet your ass
Please, please let us see it.
I didn't even fucking go to picture day. The hell with that, what's the point? I'm gonna have my picture taken when I look like the fucking district attorney of Gotham City, for fuck's sake? No thanks.
Does that not sound fucking awesome? I bet when he's writing that joke, he's like, fuck, I would really have liked to have a photo of me as a kid looking like Harvey Dent. Let's go.
Thank you. But hey, whatever. No severe damage done. Kids will be kids and all that shit, right?
Number 3.
Alright, what's going on with number 3 then?
It was way back when my dad would take me with him to go play pickup basketball games at the park. Yeah, that's right. Back in the day, my dad was basically fucking Woody Harrelson's ass in the movie White Men Can't Jump. What a time to be alive. Well, while him and Wesley Snipes would be on the court hustling the shit out of people for money, my little ass be hanging out in the playground. And it was during one of these sessions on the playground where I was on top of the jungle gym doing kid shit, minding my own business, when all of a sudden some punk-ass kid from down below starts talking shit to me. Hey, you up there. You're a fucking fart knocker. How do you like that shit? Now, at first, I was just confused, because I had no idea who this kid was, or why he was throwing out unsolicited fart knocker insults all willy-nilly.
I always thought that was a shit insult. Fart knocker? Like, what does that even mean? What knocker? What does the word knocker mean in the context of that insult? I mean, there's fart knockers. Then what, are you farting on a... what? Like, yeah, terrible insult.
But this little freckled fuck just kept going on and on and on. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you dick toucher. You like to touch all the gross dicks, don't you? So I lean over the railing and look down, and I'm like, hey, motherfucker, the only dick I touch is my own, you piece of shit. Or whatever the hell I said. Look, I don't have the exact transcript of this conversation, all right? It doesn't matter what was said. What matters is...
what was said?
A little too far forward, and I accidentally fling myself over the railing. So I plummet 15 feet to the ground, and and I cracked the back of my head so hard that I swear I forgot what the fuck my middle name was. Well, that little freckled piece of shit thinks I just died on impact, so he's like, sorry I said all those things about you touching dick. See you later. Now look, I'm not gonna lie here. After falling and cracking my head on the ground, I cried like a little schoolboy bitch.
always a funny joke.
Whole other side of the park, still playing basketball, so you didn't hear me crying like a big fucking wussy crybaby. I eventually calmed down, and it's pretty apparent that I sustained a head injury of some sort. There's a pretty significant ringing going on in my ears. The outside is all of a sudden a lot brighter than I remember it being. Now, did I suffer a concussion of some sort? Did I possibly fracture my fucking skull? I have no idea, because I didn't tell anybody afterwards. Naturally. All I know is that I got in the car to go home that day, and I just pretended that nothing even happened. Boy, I sure hustled the shit out of those guys. How was the playground? Did you have fun? Playground? What's a playground? What the fuck is my middle name? But hey, whatever. Kids will be kids. No big deal. I was fine. Who cares if I had to fucking relearn how to write my name in cursive? I figured it out. It's not a big deal. So there you have it. There's
Yikes.
injuries that stand out in my mind. And if you guys like this video, well, guess what? I could probably make 2 or 3 more cartoons on the same subject because I fucked myself up on a regular basis as a kid. The end.
Alright, I'm looking forward to those. Alright, so just quickly, somebody commented in one of my videos just after this one went live that I was in the new Brewstew video, but it was only one person commenting, and in the past when that's happened, I've had a flood of people tell me that I'm in the video before I get the chance to watch it. So I don't know what this dude's talking about, unless he's talking about that right there. Is that supposed to be me getting hustled by Wesley Snipes and Tyler's dad? I mean, I did get my beard neatened up a little bit recently, but I definitely see it. It's got the belly, you know. So yeah, the laundry basket injury, that's hilarious. I mean, you see videos of that go wrong the exact same way. What is it about the human race that we are just determined to ride laundry baskets downstairs? Because we all in our own head are like, nah, I can do this one and not fuck myself up. But they all do. They all get KO'd. The one with the pegs, that was rough, man. I'd really like to see a photo. Do I want to see a photo of his injuries? I'm curious of how bad they are. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, that one sounded rough. I've crashed a bike here or there, nothing too crazy. And I've taken a spill on a skateboard as well in my teenage years, but again, nothing that I didn't walk away from. The playground concussion, yeah. Whew. That little redhead kid is gonna be, he was shitting himself. He was out of there. But concussions are no joke. I've been concussed before, and I didn't tell anyone, but that's because I didn't realize at the time that I was concussed. All right, story time. I'll tell you about one of my injuries. This was not so much childhood. This was like mid-20s, but hanging out at a campsite, there was a 4-wheel, like, quad bike there. I don't ride motorbikes or quad bikes or anything like that. I'd never really had the opportunity to do it. But my mate's like, hey, take it for a little, like, ride around the campsite. I was like, okay, cool. So I get on it, and I'm like, you know, very nervous and gingerly kind of riding around the campsite and getting a little bit faster and stuff. And it got to the point, I wasn't wearing a helmet, got to the point where the sun was almost, like, completely down. It was right at dusk. And, I hit a tree root. There was like a big tree root that was growing out of the ground, and one of the tires hit it, and it just brought this quad bike to a screeching halt. And I flipped over the handlebars completely, and I landed on my back on it was like hard dirt, but exactly where my head was damp for some reason, and was like kind of like a tiny bit muddy, but the rest of it was like dry for whatever reason. So I don't know what the hell I landed in. Maybe I landed in somebody's piss, but I appreciate it because it might have been the difference between me cracking my head open on like hard soil and just getting a concussion from damp soil. So the night goes on, there's a big party, we're all drinking. We were drinking homemade Mississippi moonshine. Yeah, there were a lot of bad decisions made all in a row on that night. So I pulled an all-nighter, I get driven to the airport because I was actually in a different state from where I lived visiting people. I had to go home. Got driven to the airport about 5 o'clock in the morning, grabbed some Krispy Kreme donuts, because at that time they only sold them in like one state in Australia, so it was custom at that point to bring some Krispy Kreme donuts into the office if you go interstate as a thing, which honestly was a giant pain in the ass carrying these fucking donuts around. And what was kind of surreal is I ended up sitting next to this guy, Ryan Fitzgerald. He's just like an Australian TV personality / former football player, and it was ironic that I was sitting next to him because the day before was that year's AFL Grand Final, and Port Adelaide Power, who I do not like because that was one of those like rivalries that had just bred into you as a child. They got absolutely smoked in the Grand Final. I think it was like the biggest margin of defeat ever in the game of Aussie Rules football. And I know that Fitzy also not a fan of the Port Power, so we had a little bit of a moment talking about those guys, but he looked pretty fucked up as well. And then I fell asleep on the plane and woke up when we had already landed in my hometown. So probably not the best idea to get a concussion, then drink yourself into a stupor, then fly in an aeroplane, fall asleep, and you know, not tell anybody that you're completely messed up. But maybe the Krispy Kreme donuts got me through it. But let me know in the comments what you thought about this one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Go to patreon.com/FWCI if you want to support my channel further. Patreon.com/Brewstew if you want to support the man himself. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends, ta-ta, and farewell.